3 gray dots dance on the screen and then vanish. You are left in the dark, watching a phone that refuses to buzz. An hour passes, then an entire day. As the silence stretches, your stomach tightens, and a low-grade anxiety begins to hum in the background of every other thought. The instinct to intervene is powerful. You consider a casual double text or a meme, any prompt to break the tension and find out where you stand. This impulse is a biological reflex masquerading as a social strategy. When communication stops, the brain's dorsal anterior cingulate cortex activates. Neuroimaging shows this is the same region that processes physical pain. To your nervous system, digital silence feels like a physical wound. Hitting send is an attempt to stop that pain, but reacting to this evolutionary reflex usually pushes the other person further away. While your focus remains on the phone, your internal chemistry has locked into seeking mode. This illustrates intermittent reinforcement. Unpredictable rewards trigger massive dopamine spikes, the core mechanism of addiction. When replies stop, dopamine withdraws and your reward center stalls. This is the Zeigarnik effect. An unanswered message becomes an unclosed loop, consuming your mental bandwidth. Your obsession is driven by a need to close a mental file, regardless of the actual romantic value of the person who stopped texting. Fighting this loop by constantly checking your phone only multiplies the anxiety. Your brain is hijacked, seeking a resolution, blinding you to reality. To understand why reaching out fails, we have to look at the receiver's psychological evaluation system. A barrage of unprompted texts signals that your time and attention are infinitely available. In evolutionary psychology, high availability suggests lower value. This supply and demand curve shows the scarcity principle. As availability rises, social currency drops. Overpursuit triggers avoidant attachment dynamics. When one pushes forward too aggressively, the other feels psychological pressure to retreat. The neediness conveyed in a double text creates a demand for attention that forces the receiver to pull back to maintain their own space. Reacting to the biological urge to text reduces the very social currency required to reignite interest. Stepping away from the phone is an offensive tactical move. During the first few hours of being ignored, the limbic system, the brain's emotional center, dominates your decision-making. This state is driven by cortisol, a stress hormone that floods the system during perceived social rejection, making rational communication difficult. Cortisol does not dissipate instantly. It follows a biological clearing process to reach neurochemical homeostasis. It takes roughly 24 to 48 hours for these stress markers to clear the bloodstream. Only then can the brain's executive center function normally again. With the cortisol gone, the prefrontal cortex takes back control from the emotional limbic system. This logical shift allows the brain to finally archive the unclosed loop of the missing text, which naturally lowers your anxiety. Choosing silence utilizes the law of scarcity to preserve your value, giving your biology the time it needs to reset before you make your next move.